things go your way. Yeah.
They struggled against the Panthers.
Pretty much done.
Yeah, Panthers knew.
Just fill in the blank.
Panthers beat
That-
Ahead of the game.
They
They
did
beat 'em
a
earlier.
few weeks ago.
Yeah.
That coach used to be on their staff. He knows their system.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, yeah. The
I was
Panthers
wondering how they
coach,
did that.
he knew how to disrupt things.
Where am I doing that at?
I was wondering how they did that. That's awesome.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Yeah, those games were unbelievable.
These are the young professionals.
Oh, when you play a lot of them, it was amazing. I, Cambridge game.
Perfect. Thanks for keeping me straight.
Comparisons, 2024 to 2025.
Chicago since '80.
Well, I guess they are, I guess.
Oh, yeah, in a sense.
Chicago.
So he's
yeah,
done.
he's done. And we couldn't get it up there.
Well, it didn't do anything, so apparently it was okay,
That's good.
whatever that was
Yeah,
all.
it didn't blow up.
Put it up there. He was loving everything. He was upset first half, but then obviously
I wasn't upset because I've seen him come back to every game. I was like,
he does. He does.
My glasses out, or I'll be in trouble. I can't see.
Fun to watch.
What's this?
if you're not a Bears fan, it's really fun to watch. It'd be a heart attack every
Yeah,
game.
yeah. Just enjoy the game.
I was, he reminded me of one back in the day, Brian Saint.
Athletic just makes big
Yeah, I'm losing my voice.
kids.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
That's early.
You're losing your voice. Oh,
Well, that might
no.
not be a bad thing.
Oh, no.
Oh, that would happen.
Call
We'll keep it
Tracy.
short that way.
That would happen, didn't it?
You got a lot. You got a lot to do tonight. I'm gonna back off on you a little bit.
Turn the heat up and leave it on.
Yeah, there you go. Well, there's a lot of information to cover tonight.
Speechless.
Yeah. Good way to start the year off, get it out of the way. All right, you ready? Everybody ready? Okay. All right, Cambridge City Council is now in session. Please rise for the invocation from the mayor and the Pledge of Allegiance.
Dear Lord, be with us tonight. Councilman Zaleski being out, be with him and cover him. So many things yet to do for our city. We need your guys' support. Help keep us strong as we try to move forward in a positive manner and do what's best for the city of Cambridge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag
Of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Evancho.
Here.
Gardner.
Here.
Loffman.
Here.
McMillan.
Here.
Mauer.
Here.
Wolverton.
Here.
Zaleski.
Kim?
Motion to excuse Councilman Zaleski.
I'll second the motion. Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed, same size. Ayes have that. Reading of the minutes. Johnny?
I make a motion, we dispense reading minutes, place on file.
Tim?
I'll second that motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
And all those opposed, same side. Ayes carry that. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to announce at this time, we have some special guests. We're going to ask Ashley Christ to come up, and we're going to make a presentation to the young professionals. And come on up. They set you up all by yourself, didn't they?
Yes, so I'm here to present a check on behalf of young professionals of Guernsey County to the Safe Haven Baby Box Initiative.
You guys want to be a part of it?
So this is from our chili cook-off proceeds, and we were really actually very excited to help with this, so thank you so much for allowing us.
All right.
We appreciate it a lot.
We got some people coming up here.
Oh, yeah, well, so it's for $3,000.
Yeah.
And let me say, on behalf of Officer Bridget Voorhees and I, who were the co-chairs for this initiative, we appreciate this so much. And we found out a few months ago, well, right before they did it, that they were going to donate the proceeds from the chili cook-off to the baby box. So this is tremendous, and we thank you so much.
So awesome.
Sure. If there's anything else we can ever help with, let
Yeah.
us know.
We will.
Appreciate it, guys.
You guys.
Thank you
Let's
very
go
much.
get a good photo. Get a good photo over there. Okay.
Oh, we just
What a
did it.
question there. What a question.
Okay, we're going to move into the reorganization for the new term. And I have a letter from Sharon Castler, which I would like to read. As you all know, I have served as the City of Cambridge as Clerk of Court for 40 years.
Clerk of Council.
Clerk of Council, right. See, I can't even read. It's a job that I truly love and would like to make this letter my formal request to be reappointed again to this position for the term January 2026 through December 2027. Thank you for your consideration. Sincerely, Sharon K. Castler. So at this point, I would like a motion to appoint her. Skip?
I'd like to make that motion.
Tom?
I'll second the motion.
Okay, and all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same size, and ayes have that. Okay, the other duty that I have this evening is appointing the committees that we have for last year. Oh, yes, oops, I missed one. Appointment of clerk as designee, and the clerk is going to explain that.
So you will remember that there is a state law that says there is mandatory training for state, for public records and records retention and all those kind of things. And the law allows for you to appoint your clerk as your designee so that I go and get the training on your behalf. But you have to have a formal ordinance to make that appointment.
Have at it.
Okay, Tom?
I'll make that motion.
Okay, Kim?
I'll second that motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed, same side, and ayes carry that as well. Okay? Now we can move on to appointments of committees. Okay, on the Finance Committee for the two-year term here, we'll have Tim Avencho as chair, Tom Laughlin Jr., Kim McMillan, and John Wolverton as the alternate. On City Services, we will have John Wolverton as chair, Mike Zielinski, and Skip Garner. Steve Moore will be the alternate. On the Legislative Committee, we will have Mike Zielinski as the chair, Steve Moore, John Wolverton, and Skip Garner as the alternate. The Park Board liaison will be Kim McMillan, and CIC representatives will be Tim Avencho and myself, and President Pro Tem will be Tom Laughlin Jr. Okay?
If you could, I'm sorry, I was trying to write these down so I keep track of them. I know we miss them
I
Be in
sometimes.
the minutes.
And I'll
Yeah.
email it to you.
Okay.
We'll
You
send
you had
that.
Mike as chair for the City Services. Mike as chair, Steve was on there?
City Services Chair is John Wolverton.
John Wolverton, yes.
Okay, I have these two back, okay.
Yes, sir.
So of the Legislative, Mike is chair,
Mike will be chair of that.
okay? And then Steve,
Steve and John.
and who's the alternate?
Skip will be the alternate.
Perfect.
Okay with that? Okay, and we are ready to move on now.
Now we'll never remember.
And we will go up to the mayor. It's showtime. Let's go for it. Let's get it. That must be thick.
Oh, boy.
Oh, gee.
Well, I've tried different ways over the years, but this is the year in the year-end reports that I'm in charge, except for one. And I appreciate everybody working with me on this, both internally and externally. But before we do that, let's do our normal business. It's
Yes.
getting serious already. In front of you should have a packet for the normal request. And number one on the request is from the engineer's office. Everybody got one of those?
Yes.
Okay. A, authorization to transfer ownership of parcel, and there's the number, to the Port Authority. B, authorization to accept U.S. Bridge Way. C, authorization to execute the deed to accept U.S. Bridge Way. And that was the first one. Number two, request from the police department. A, appropriate $250 donation from Tractor Supply to equipment. B, appropriate $4,900 check from CPA alumni to equipment. C, appropriate $9,324.37 check to the Attorney General's Office, the Police CPT Training Fund. Moving on to number three, request from the Fire Department. A, permission to apply for state marshal equipment grant. B, permission to apply for state EMS grant. C, permission to increase rates for EMS billing. D, appropriate checks totaling $3,715 from the Cambridge Elks to fire miscellaneous.
Okay, thank you, Mayor.
And then turn the page,
Oh, there's another one. Yep.
and you go to request, number 4, request from Economic Community Development to appropriate the grant's budget. And then, that's all the formal things I have on that
Okay.
file.
We will send item 1 to committee as a whole, and we will refer items 2, 3, and 4 to the Finance Committee.
That'd be good. And then in my footnotes, I just wanted to mention Tim Ellison, our foreman of 32 and a half years, retired last week. Just want to give a huge shout out to his service. Tim's just a all-around good guy. And it'll be a change for some of the men. There's ample people to step up and try, and Tom will bring that up later on, I'm sure, but he's a little under the weather today. So anyhow, I just want to make a mention of that. I'm going to mention around, of course, you might not already know this, if you're on down, they cleaned up the streets, Dickens steps all the way. I want to say thank you to all the volunteers. And I don't know about anybody else, but that was the most systematic year that I remember as far as going out, coming in, people participating, people moving through town. The amount of buses was a record again. The volunteers was off the charts. It was, I just don't know what else you can say. I mean, to watch those people work that hard, it's just impressive. And I say this all the time to most groups. I was speaking to one last week. Picture not having that. Just how quiet would that be? How dark would that be? So I'm just really for all that, including the live nativity and everything else that goes on out there. We had a couple people pass away in our area here lately, and I can't get them all. And it's just hard as a community leader to see some of the leadership, but I wanted to mention Bob Warner. Was a past city councilman, 96, I believe. He's just part of the fabric of our town, seeing him around the armory and different things, and Sharon had a little story she just shared the other day about his past, when he was real favorable to the park, and that was kind of interesting, how people do. But raised his family here. His wife was active in the schools and stuff, and we just give a shout out to the family. Chris Brandt, I don't know if you knew, he worked at the cemetery in the office. Really a nice, awesome guy. Struggled with a couple things and battled, and hope he's in a better place. Good person. I just want to say thank you to the family. And then Arnold Van Horn, I don't know if you really ever knew him or not, but he was just in Guernsey County, Cambridge. You get these characters every once in a while, and he's just one of those kind of people. But it said it best in his obituary: God, family, country. Enough said. Just we're better because he was here. And there's others. I was at Mrs. Steele's this morning. Dr. Steele all those years, and and then family again, very active in the community. And there's a lot more than that. I see a couple names, but I just want to give a moment to everybody and say I'm sorry. So I put this file over here. I'm hoping you're ready for this over here. Sharon's already ducking, I can feel it.
That's on the
Opening, good evening, and thanks for being here and allowing me to present the 2025 State of the City. Tonight's State of the City is a good one. The reports were sent to you electronically, and I hope you were able to review them. And there's other ways we can work that out. I know there's a little, she's fine. Like in any other year, we always have challenges, but there's a lot of solid work happening within our city, and it reflects the commitment of our staff and the support of this council. I'm proud of where we are and the direction we are headed together. And what I tried to do this year is I hit the highlight lines within the panel. Like, for example, I'm going to read a couple highlights within the engineering, but then the engineering is very, very 2 pages, very thick. For example, he got grants and spent out in the city a term of $12,440,000. That's, you see all the times he comes up asking about this and that, and he turns that stuff. But to find out what that was, you need to go into this. So I'm gonna hit these things, and you're welcome to stop me or do whatever you want to, talk to Sharon and get what you need. But each one of these is that way. So that way we don't get caught up in some things about chlorine treatment or different things. It gets a little crazy after a while. But in engineering, Nick Cunningham, busy year with ongoing projects. Capital improvement construction projects last year of $12,440,247.80. Some of the names you might have heard last year: Edgeworth, Fifth Street, Claremont, Fire Station renovation, Municipal Court office split, Turner Trailhead and Great Guernsey Trail, ongoing. South 8th Street sewer improvements, ongoing. State Highway Patrol force main improvements, ongoing. Capital improvement design projects, $2,414,978.80. Again, Edgeworth lead sign replacement project. Just to hit that for a second, the state mandates that we send that letter out. Everybody in the country is supposed to get one of them. If you have lead pipes in you're to notify the water. It's not saying you have them. A lot of times in Cambridge, we don't have them. If we do, it's between the hookup and the house, and the resident put it in there. We don't know what's in the ground. We only know what's in the ground from the hookup to the street. So there's some things ongoing there, but I know you're getting some of that. Continue street programs, Sycamore Graham, Watson Waterline Replacement Project, Claremont Avenue Safe Routes to School sidewalks, South 11th South Rights to Schools improvements. Two Creeks Lift Station, that's down in behind Rural Canyon. Believe me, had we not fixed that thing, you'd really seen something down there. It was having a heck of a time. Wastewater treatment plant improvement projects, wastewater treatment plant general plan, 50/50 sidewalk replacement. Last year, we had residents come in and spend $6,000 of their money, and we matched that with $6,000 of this money, and we got sidewalks done in different parts of town, and that's ongoing, and that's just a nice little program. Street lights, we do go out through every quarter and we look at our street lights, and last year we called in and had replaced and fixed 82 street lights. And never fails, you get them all fixed and 2 start blinking. But, you know, it's just like at your house too. But so anyhow, it's engineering. Parks, Tim Gibson, superintendent, Marty Matthews, foreman. Repairs and improvements to basketball courts and pickleball areas, more forthcoming, and the pool. AED training, and of course put that in 3 or 4 of our buildings, so we have those available around. Jefferson Park got some little bit of work and got a new sign. Boomerama, somebody did that, I think, just for me, but you know how that is. But again, it was pretty good activity. Salt Fork Arts and Crafts came and went very nicely. The trees that were planted in by the staff out in that area is just continued to amaze me. Trunk or Treat has been slowly growing. I think they had like 25 cars the first year, and now it's up to almost 40. And I don't think that's going to go back. I think that's going to continue. It's just the world we live in. It works, and we'll see what we get into there. But the churches are getting behind it, and that's helping a lot. They started a 501(c), and I think the Elks Club led the way a little bit last week and gave some money to get that started. So the money is, people go on in their lives, and we will some money to the city park, we can put it in that 501(c). And a group of citizens volunteer their time to be on that board, and that's huge, as well as the park board. Yeah, and like I said, there's a lot more minutes in the actual report. Utility Directors, Environmental Program, that's Lou Thornton. Stormwater, inspected 400 manholes, catch basins, inspected stormwater controls, established new stormwater O&M recordable agreements in a private stormwater facilities. Floodplain renewed and responded to requests for floodplain evaluation information and provided floodplain site inspections. Anybody taking any aspirins yet? I see it. That stuff comes across my desk. I'm like, what's this? Water treatment plant prepared annual reports for EPA and US EPA. Not do one of those things, it's not pretty. Wastewater treatment, replacing current plant-wide SCADA systems, providing SSO reporting and preparing OEPA annual report. Respond to questions regarding annexation and pre-annexation and resident questions with regard to water and sewer facilities. He also handles a lot of the things, we've had some people talking about putting some new meters in and things, building, adding to their business. Lou takes a lot of calls on it, helps the business owners settle down a little bit and try to realize what they need to pay for. And that's not something we've done a lot in the past, and quite honestly, it's kind of neat to see that develop and the need and want for that. We have some nice changes coming in our downtown, and things are ongoing. Street Department is Tom Lanning. 200 years of combined road experience within the department and personnel. Street sweeping, fuel costs, and this is mostly leaves, $46,510.95. Asphalt patching, just patching, $42,214,000. Concrete costs, and you can see those splits out there, you can find a bunch more that need it, $37,134.74. We could triple that number and probably still not be able to keep up with what's going on out there, and we're trying, but we're still continuing to work on that. Snow and ice control, 300 tons of salt ordered at $73.63 per ton. Of course, last year we brought that over to this year. We were able to take that under the tarp and make it work. And so far, we already this year have had more activity than we did last year. But it's not the big snow. We hope we don't get one. But, spring cleanup, big on that. Pickup sticks, yard waste program, and leaves pickup, 1,500 cubic yards, and total debris and placed in the compost facility. We're very lucky to have that. Compost facility, $25,100 just this year to maintain it. That's moving logs from left side to the right side, moving dirt so we can get trucks down there, because it doesn't take long before things start getting a little crazy. This department also helps the tree commission under my ask to cut trees, planted new trees throughout the city, and that's really grown really nicely together. And again, that's in a full report, and I was kind of finding that one paragraph, he took a poke at me about that stick-up tree, but I don't know how I know that. Utilities, Debbie McKee. Very busy year in that office, and it's more to come. We've got some discussions backstage. Currently, we bill every 3 months. I desperately would like to see this city go to monthly billing, and I think we're working hard on finding a way, but it's going to cost. But same time, I think it's good for our citizenry. Average monthly collection of water and sewer bills, average monthly $814,775. $3,568 customer service calls handled by 2 servicemen. Meters tested. 804 backflows devices tested in our city. Just a little addition in that area. We've had some issues reported with water tasting funny, smelling funny. It's testing completely perfect. They're running all over the place, checking things, running some water through hydrants, doing different things, trying to find a way to push this stuff through. Every once in a while, we get through a system where the temperatures do different things in the reservoir or the creek, or somebody does something crazy. We are supplying Byesville with water and have been for about 3.5, 4 weeks on part of their thing. We don't know if that's stirring some things up, because Southgate Parkway is an area. But we got good people, licensed people. Brian's down there, and he's our 4. And I feel strongly we'll figure it out. So that's all we got on that matter for now. Cemetery, James Green, 82 internments, which include 34 cremations, poured 37 foundations in-house, repairs and improvements to the office and the cemetery grounds. I think you can drive out through there and pretty much see what goes on. It's just amazing. We are extending the cemetery into the bottom a little bit, and that's ongoing, and you can kind of tell where the grass and things and the stakes are showing up in the possible road, and James has been a big part of that. Also, changing some policies out there that have caused a little dander to go up in a couple categories, but he's hanging in there. And revenue's changing a little bit from the full-blown funeral. We're getting into a lot more cremations, and I think that's just the world we live in. We see it. And that's not a bad thing, just a different way of doing things. So we'll see how that plays into things. And mowing and taking care of our older cemeteries and protecting that. A lot of people visit them during the Dickens times and things like that. Debbie's report, you'll notice varies numbers per month and year and everything. And if there's ever any questions about anything, she's more than happy to discuss it with whoever wants to talk about it. And I'm glad to have her there to help us figure out that monthly billing, because we're gonna need all that and then some. There's a reason why they haven't done it up until now. Public safety, Mark Baker, productive year, things are on an upward trend. Police department at full staff. Fire and EMS had one new hire due to retirement. EMS calls increasing. New ambulance. Public lands continue to be the largest expense. One thing, I think you know this, but I want you again, read these reports and dig into the fine print, but just in the last 3 weeks, a normal day's runs would be around 10, 8, maybe 6. They had 12, and they had 15, and they had 20 a couple days ago. It's really, really, really trending in a very difficult direction. They're doing everything. They're hitting the ground running. They're answering the bell and smiles on their face. Sometimes we got the fire trucks out. Sometimes we got other trucks out. I don't know. We have citizens in need, and we answer the call. And that's just, Mark's in the middle of all that, and thankfully so. And they're just pretty daggone busy up there. And then the new force, make sure you go through those buildings if you have a moment. Pretty impressive. And again, this body enabled us to do that. We've been lucky enough to find a way. Again, his report is right here. Code enforcement, Kim Conrath, mowed 424 times last year at a cost of $22,185. You know, that tends to stay in, but for most of you, if we've been together a while, I just don't think we'll ever get away with that being half that. I was at a meeting with a bunch of people last week, and I told them right there, I said, people don't call and complain when we mow their yards no more. They know if they get there, we're coming. But it's just, we can somehow do better. I'll listen to anybody that got an idea or two, but it goes on from there. But it's very important, and we get those checks do come back over time, and you see that in the first half and the second half of the year. Coordinated spring and fall cleanup, that's been big. The fall cleanup was different this year, the way we did it. Seemed to work. We'll discuss that more going forward. Of course, spring is just off the charts, and in my opinion, as long as I'm here, we will always have that. To not have it, I just can't imagine what that would look like 2 and 3 years down. It'd probably be coming through the door here with us. Dealt with 3 fires in the city, demolished 2 garages and 1 structure. We were able to clean up some old garages for citizens that, again, did the right thing, and they called it up, and we helped them out there. Property cleanup, towing, and inspections. Again, she has to go out with the police officer usually once a week. We try to give people 2 or 3 weeks to do something about it, but it's just amazing some of the difficulties we run into there. I feel bad about that on one hand, but on the other hand, something's got to go, so usually gets hooked up. Her report is pretty in-depth. I'd love to dig into that and have an all night on that, but I know Sharon would throw something at me by then, so
You're doing great.
I'm probably gonna get heck doing it the way I'm doing it, but that's okay. That's a whole
You're doing
nother
fine, yeah.
Police Department, Chief Dave Peoples. Busy year for the PD, fully staffed 24 sworn officers, 4 dispatchers, and 4 canines. Been here a little while, been a long time since I said fully staffed 25 officers. And I just feel there's a firmness in that. Now, I'll say that and someone will retire tomorrow. No, I'm just kidding. 4 dispatchers, 4 canines. Thank you, Captain, for sticking around. But, and again, 4 canines, that don't just happen everywhere. And for the citizens and groups that help finance that and donate, thank you, because we couldn't do that without you. Just like that group that came here. It's amazing what this town will do if you work with them about stuff. Upgraded computers, in the process of upgrading radios. A lot of departments got upgraded computers last year, but he jumped right in, helped out there. Now, here's one that's trending, it's driving us a little nutty, but that's just the world. 1,162 public records requests. When you got officers with a uniform on, we need them out on the street, not in a file room weeding through stuff. But we're working, finding a way to get through stuff, the chief put a great report together. His is about 6 pages, and rightfully so. He breaks down what the patrol division, what the detective division's doing, who the officers all are. Just an awesome group all the way across the bed, tells about, unfortunately, some of the struggles with dope and all the different trainings. I mean, it's just almost a full page of training for that department. So many times you hear, well, in some of these other towns, well, they're not trained, or this room right here, when you put this, allowed this to happen, they fill this a couple times a quarter and get things going, and proud of that. Next up, we got the auditor, Connor Johnson. That young man has jumped in and fit right in our finance meetings. He goes about things differently than Sue Ellen did, and I'd be the first one to admit I took a deep breath a couple times. But I'll tell you what, he flips that computer up, looks you up there and calmly tells you about the black and the white. And it's kind of like, okay, well, guess we'll be moving on from there. And then this year, when we was able to go through and have a budget already, that don't happen by accident. And I think Tim being there and Sharon knows what I'm talking about there. Completed a semi-overhaul of the city accounts. Received the Auditor State Award for 2024 audit. So we kept on going there. I mean, the book, I still had a little handprint of Sue Ellen in there, I'm sure, but he went through everything to double check it. 0% increase in insurance and changed the vision plan. Now, I think we all had a little hand in that, but has to go through that room a little bit. He played team ball, and I appreciate that. Processed over 5,300 payments, checks to vendors. There's been a lot of changes. We had a retirement in that department. He had to do an interview and process and bring a new person on. And he did that, and honestly, pretty smooth sailing so far. And that's the way we like it. His report, again, like theirs right there. Water Pollution Control Center, that's Chris Jamiel, otherwise known as the sewer plant. We don't want to call it that because it just doesn't sound. But upgrades to SCADA, pumps, electronic components. That's a major dollar operation like Blacktop and everything is somewhere else. You have to tear into them tanks, replace a bunch of stuff, bring it all back up. They're going to build a new tank or two before it's over. That's all in the sewer division. They got a lot of needs out there. Several repairs, replacements, and taps and mains. I want to give a shout out to Centuria down there for letting us cut through the parking lot for almost a year, as we had to fix Water Street. It caved in down in there. That was our only way in and out of the plant. And I'm sending a couple of my people down to visit with them on Wednesday morning. That's if Tommy gets to feeling better. But then Chris Jamie and the gang down there put a real nice water pollution control center. It's 20 pages of information. And honestly, that's what you're required to do for this stuff. If you don't have professionals in place, you just can't do it. It'd just be really ugly. Cambridge Fire Department Chief Jeff Deeks, his world is completely turned upside down. Station renovation project, he's sitting right in the middle of that, while the whole time he's got the baby box coming through one way and an ambulance going the other direction. Total fire calls, 603. First full year of EMS. I don't have a number above the edge of that, but it might be in the report. And again, it's changing daily. So whatever you saw for last year, you could probably add 30%. Probably still be off by 10. New ambulance came in, thank goodness, with the work here. And then, again, we took some from a couple different accounts. They're not giving those things away anytime soon. Total medical calls, 2,677. I want to give a shout out to Cambridge Township. They've stood in this with us. So far, they've been real gracious, and we got a lot of work to do with them going forward because we're running out there a good bit, too. They're now 25% of our calls. But they're Cambridge, we just go from there. Safe Haven Baby Box, record in the last 2 weeks of record in the last 2 weeks of ambulance runs, which I've already told you that. And his report is right here, and he's got pie charts and different things that get you right in there. He does a nice job every year. really important to have him. Law Director Bill Ferguson, which I'll remind him later he can do this. Legal opinions, prosecution of criminal, misdemeanor, and traffic cases. And Bill, just in general terms, he's Bill, he's ours. But at any day goes by, he's not in the middle of something. And I'll tell you, Nick and him, it's funny, because he can't, sometimes Bill likes to, hey, I'll get right to you, and it might be today or two. He shifts things around. And that's, you hear me, Bill? But, old Nick sets traps for him, here we go. But anyhow,
That gets him up.
I wouldn't work with anybody else. He does a nice job. Keeps us out of hot water, works along with the administration. Sometimes we just need that extra piece of word and a little bit of a comment so we can go do our job. And he's big on that. City Treasurer is Mike Sikora. I got his stuff here, but he said he'd like to come up. So, Mike, you want to come up? I got your paper right there. I didn't know.
Thank you. Thank you. What a privilege it is to be here tonight, and I'll be here for another 4 years for sure. So tax collections are up 2.8% from the previous year. Workload is up 2.3%. The big thing to note is our investments. Wow, $887,000 in interest is what we've earned this past year. Not just me, but it's what the investment committee has done. Connor's on that, Bill Ferguson's on that, and Connor's on that. So right now, our investments are actually valued at more than what we have on the books. We can only put them on the books of what they are at cost, but they're worth $350,000 more than what they are in the books. So we just put down what they are at cost. In the past 6 years, the workload at the tax office has increased a whopping 35.9%. That's how many more pieces of paper and returns we process. Many thanks to Tara Chewich, Brandy Hinkle, and Sue Messino for the work that they've done, and what they've done has allowed me to work on the investments anymore. As I mentioned, $887,000 in investment. You folks get those reports every month. We want to be very clear and let everyone know what we have. My personal thanks, many thanks to you folks for your consideration of the treasurer's salary for the next 4 years, and how blessed we are to be in Cambridge. Have this revenue and the honest citizens and honest businesses, and as long as we can continue to be here and shop local, we'll keep going. That's it. Thanks.
Thanks, Mike.
Yeah, that's a nice little touch, shop local, I like that one. You know, with that said, I had a lady walk up to me last week. She said she used to get in a car, and she lived over on the other side of New Concord, and she always went towards Zanesville. And I was speaking to a group of 50 out to Mr. Lee's this week. And she said, I always go to Cambridge now, in this area. And I thought, it's bubbling out there, it's starting to change a little bit. There's some nice things going to keep happening. I think that'll lead to more things. Southgate Parkway and downtown. Them pioneers that step out first, holding the fort. Economic Community Development, Brandon Hines. Anyone that knows Brandon, he's just all over. In fact, I'm surprised you don't run in the side door here right now, but he's just in the middle of everything. He's out there with like lead assisted 11 residences, his department. Demolitions, he helps us with the land bank, 29 properties being demolished. And that's changing. We're going to start looking into ways to save a few houses and develop some things as we ongoing. CHIP assisted 8 properties with home improvements, permits. They moved it over from Nick's area over into theirs, and quite honestly, we kind of kidded Nick. They got right after it, $11,200 in permit fees. Now, of course, I get poked at online once in a while, $50, that's stupid, it's this and that. You know, we need to know what's going on out there. For $50 or $20, you're getting ready to spend $8,000. And I don't get it. And you might have somebody up there substandard or something, and we can, you know, help you out a little bit. So that's a whole nother ballgame. We can get into that some other time. But land bank, fair housing, environmental testing. He's got a gentleman down there that runs out there and checks the different houses for asbestos and different things. Doing that in-house saves tons of money. Christmas tree program, for those that don't know this, the tree commission with his department and Tommy Lang Street Department, for a couple families that could not afford a tree, it's a live ball tree. And they take the tree to their house and put it, and they watch over it for that month. When it's done, we take it out and they can plant it in their yard, or we take it a place in the city. Marty took, if you go up Edgeworth and look up by the ball field, you'll see 2 or 3 along the lip there, the little ones. And it just adds some character to places. And there's a couple power boxes up there that kind of stick up kind of unsightly where the food wagons are. You park one right behind you and it'll grow up and kind of camouflage a little bit. It's just cool stuff like that. But the families and the kids are so excited. And I don't know, in our lifetime, we had one live tree when we were little. My grandpa planted it out back. And as that thing grew up, the little kids, that's my old Christmas tree, you know. That's kind of cheesy, but it's cool. But anyhow, that program was started down there in his department, and it's taken over real nice. Total grant funding down there was $2,685,000. If you take the grant funds from engineering, parks, and his department, it's incredible what's been able to happen around. And the police, I mean, all of them. I mean, up there at the fire department, that 500-some thousand came from our state legislators. State legislator, I got notified the other day, now I don't have the check in my hand, but I was told by our congressman, we've got good things coming, a jolt toward the reservoir situation out there. That's gonna be a multi-million-dollar ordeal. But if we could get up to a couple million from one pot, and a couple million somewhere else, we probably have enough, we could go out and borrow the rest of it and get that baby moving. It'll be about 3 years out or something like that, but anyhow, Brandon's department's got a really heavy thing. Water distribution, that's Brian and the gang down at the plant, but I also wrote down Trent Priest. He's the guy that leads the crew that runs around out there, and out of all the different crews, this one here gets hammered the most. And since I've been mayor, we've had 4 leaders of that division, because quite honestly, they just get burnt out. They go on, one became the mechanic, one retired, one went back into the men field. Trent does an outstanding job. He's a pretty young man, hits the challenges pretty hard, and he had a hard year last year, 144 breaks. We were, last year in '24, we were in the top 7 of the state in breaks, and we upped it. So unfortunately, we still got a ton of work to do. Now, I could sit here and glow about how many water lines we put in the ground, and thank God we have. And me and Sharon, she's heard me say this 1,000 times. For all the years behind this mayor, it's too bad we weren't doing some more earlier on, because I'm telling you, it's piling up out there. Storm sewer, we're gonna come to this body about storm sewer water runoff, and that's gonna happen in that monthly billing. That'll cause that little small divvy on the monthly that goes towards storm water. That'll change that a little bit and give us some help, but that's still not anywhere near scratching the itch. Well, we got some ideas. We're gonna come to you and we'll see what we get into. But we can't hide from it. It is what it is. And even if this body doesn't work with it and this person doesn't work with it, it's still coming. It's kind of like having a baby. It's coming and somebody's gonna have to figure it out. So anyhow, Trent's, and wait till I see him personally on this. He sent this thing out even with magnifying glass. I don't think I can read it. But it's all on a pie chart here. And I was like, well, I told Kelly, give me something I can read out there. And that's the water department end cutoffs and different things. We work together with the county on so many things, and sewer agreements and different, still ongoing there. I wrote down the tree commission, that's under Bridget Todd, but we have 3 or 4 volunteers with her, and she's taken over from like Sue Cowden, and quite honestly, it's just been perfect. It's been wonderful. Memorial trees, I wrote that down. If you haven't already heard about it before, what that does for our community and just endears our stuff. It's just, I think that's ongoing, and I think they've already got some paid for this year already. Tree planting and trimming, quite honestly, we've put so many trees out there now, trimming trees has become an issue a little bit. getting to them quick enough. But if you look at Oakland Boulevard, how much crap we took, when we whacked all of them to start with, and it was scary, I get it, but they was all rotted out, all of them. And now watch them change, and they're coming back. And quite honestly, I think I seen a real estate sign in one of them from your place. But that guy bought that place and flipped that and cleaned that all up, it's on a computer. That don't happen if you don't get behind that area, put them sidewalks in there, put them trees in there. And if we don't stand behind it, they're not coming. And with that said, school system's doing a little bit better all the time. I'm real happy with the partnership there. I better stick to my script. Closing. As we conclude our year-end reports, I want to take a moment to reflect the progress we have made, particularly in the areas of development projects and public safety, which remain at the heart of our responsibility as a local government. Over the past year, we have advanced the key projects that are shaping the future of our community, from infrastructure improvements and facility upgrades to ongoing development initiatives. These projects reflect our community to growth, efficiency, and long-term sustainability. While not every project is complete, the progress reported today demonstrates careful planning, responsible use of resources, a clear vision for where we are headed. Equally important to our continued focus on safety, the well-being of our residents is and will always be our top priority. This year's report showed dedicated effort of our police, fire, emergency services, support teams to keep our community safe and prepared. Through improvement, coordination, training, and prevention efforts, we are working to ensure that our city remains a secure place to live, work, and raise a family. I want to thank all departments and personnel involved in these efforts. Your professionalism, dedication, and service do not go unnoticed. I also thank the council and the partners for our collaboration and commitment to shared goals. As we move into the new year, we will continue to push forward, completing important projects, strengthening safety measures, listening to the needs of our community. Let us build on this momentum and accountability, cooperation, and shared sense of purpose. Thank you for all your hard work throughout the year and for your continued service to our city. I look forward to the progress we will achieve together in the year ahead. Yours in service, Mayor Tom Moore, 2025. And then I had one left. It wouldn't be me if I didn't slip a Mickey in there. P.S. YMCA pool coming too. Even that's not a city project, it's big in this city. So anyhow, council, that concludes that. If you have any questions or need anything, or any constituents wants a report of this report is available in my office or in clerk of council.
Thank you, Mayor. Anybody have any questions of the mayor or any comments this evening?
I had two.
Yes.
I know it's been long, but I appreciate the time. It's helpful, very helpful. The permits you talked about, just so, I don't think a lot of people understand sometimes. It relates to home and yard improvements, correct? Over a certain dollar. When you have a contractor, you're supposed to get a building permit through the city.
You know, if you're gonna
talk about that a little
put a
bit?
deck on, add to your roof, I'll even kick myself. I had a gutter sound system put on my house this year. For some reason, I had a permit for a building and a roof, and I had a guy show up, start putting gutters up. Brandon's guy shows up right behind him, happened to be cruising around. You have a permit? And I come home for lunch, and the guy come up, he goes, "Did I get you in trouble?" I said, "I messed up. I just forgot." I said, "It's okay, I'll pay it." He said, "No, I paid it. I just put it on the bill." I said, "So you get it either way." I think it's just the idea. I get it. Our generation's forefathers, they came in, they built their own house, they did this, they don't want anybody telling them anything. And we're still carrying part of that. But if you go outside of Cambridge, head toward the bigger cities, it's crazy what they'll put you through. I mean, you're not even building anything till an engineer signs off on. So I would trade this any day. But yes, we're trying to put it on our website where people see it more often. But again, we're busy, they just don't see it.
And then one other thing, with the Byesville getting our water, is that just a temporary situation?
Yes, it's just a temporary situation. We've done it before. You know, we back each other up. And there's just a lot of demand out there, and it's not for gas and oil so much as, there's just a lot of expansion going on out there. They're supplying that big power plant down in there. When you start sucking that down there, I'm just guessing. I mean, the volume's pretty strong.
Thank you.
You else have anything? Comments? All right. Well, thank you, Mayor, for your
Thank you.
report.
Thanks, Mayor.
Appreciate that.
Good, very good.
Yes, not bad. Okay, looks like we're back on track then. We don't have anything from city attorney tonight, do we?
No.
No? And how about communications? Got anything in the
Oh, yes.
envelope?
We have more to add to your agenda.
Okay, let's hear it.
So I have a request from the city auditor who is asking to appropriate the 2025-26 SVAA grant.
Okay. Motion?
Motion to refer to Finance Committee.
Done?
I'll second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Ayes, carry that.
And I have two checks that need to be appropriated. The first one is a $10,000 grant from Purina. And you might remember that Chief Peoples asked to apply for a grant, and he was right. He said he felt his chances were good, and he got it. He would like to have that appropriated to equipment and the Public Entities Pool of Ohio sent a check for some damage that was done to our tornado sirens, and that needs to be appropriated.
Okay. Johnny?
Make a motion, we refer to as finance?
Right, Steve?
Second the motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Ayes, carry that.
And I have the annual request from the Cambridge City Band asking for authorization for the mayor to enter into contract for them along with the funds that we have allocated in the budget for them.
We got financial legislation.
Finance.
Finance on that. Okay. Tim?
I'll make a motion to refer to Finance Committee.
Skip?
Second the motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Ayes, carry that as well.
I have a letter to the council from Councilman Steve Mauer. I have a bittersweet announcement to make. I was offered a job with a state agency at the end of last year. I accepted the position last week. A requirement of working for this agency is an employee cannot hold an elected office. So I unfortunately am announcing my resignation from Cambridge City Council effective January 23rd, 2026. My last meeting will be the committee meeting next Tuesday, January the 20th. I struggled very hard with this decision as serving only one term was not my plan. Serving on council was fulfilling to me in a lot of different ways, and I will truly miss being the council representative for Ward 1. But I know if I let this opportunity slip by, I wouldn't get another one. I want to thank everyone that supported me and had the faith in me to vote me into office. I also want to thank you and my fellow council members for welcoming me and helping me get acclimated to how council operates. I want the residents to know this is not goodbye, as I plan to continue being a community voice and work with its leaders to bring forward some of the change that I envisioned when I decided to run for council. I am not going completely away. I am just pivoting into something different. Thank you again. Sincerely, Steve Mauer, First Ward's Cambridge City Council. Motion to accept.
Motion to accept. Tom?
Motion to deny, but I'll make a motion that we,
See what happens.
Yeah, you're stuck.
I'll make a motion we accept and place on file.
Okay. Johnny?
I'll second that motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Need roll call on that?
No, just discussion, because I believe Mr. Mauer wanted to make a
Oh, and a
statement.
discussion, okay.
Yeah, I just wanted to kind of reiterate on what I put in the letter. It was not an easy decision at all. You could ask my daughter who's here. I struggled with what I wanted to do for 4 to 6 weeks. It finally came down to, a couple different things. I was pushing to get this job for 6 years. So when it finally came about, I just realized I'm not gonna get the chance again. So, that, and I could have turned the job down, and someone could have ran against me and beat me. And then I don't have the job or council. So it just made sense from a personal, professional standpoint to accept the job. I'm going to miss it for sure, but I enjoy getting to know you guys and work together to do a lot of good things for the city. And I talked to the Central Committee, and I gave them my recommendation on who I would like to see fill my role, and if that comes to fruition, then I think you guys will be in really good hands, so.
Yeah, I'd just like to say, Steve, we appreciate everything you've done for us and being on council and a longtime friend and being an advocate for Ward 1. And I know you'll still do that though, so.
Yeah.
But what a pleasure it's been to work with you for 2 years on as a councilman, and I appreciate you.
First of all, Steve, I'm not sure anybody would have beat you down there in an election based on the performance that you've given over the last few years. It's my opinion. But in the short time you were on council, council's taken on a few pretty tough situations, and nobody would have believed that you were the new guy because you took them all on head on. I mean, you did your research, you dug deep, and you did what you thought was best for the city and for Ward 1. These aren't easy things to do, but you meant the moment and excelled. You should be proud of the contributions you've done with this body and to this body, with this body, and for this body. You will be missed. This is a tough loss for Ward 1. The people of Ward 1, they realize what all you did for them. You listened to their concerns, you addressed them. I'm sure your replacement, whoever that may end up being, will do a fine job, just as when Jeff left Ward 1, we worried about, how would the next person be, and how they will do, but rest assured you did an awesome job, and you'll be missed by myself, by Ward 1, and by all of council, although I know we will all still have you on Facebook.
Absolutely. Thanks, Tom.
On Facebook. Everybody but the mayor.
And we're still going to follow your lawn, see how the lawn.
Yes, yes, sir.
Yes, you do.
Yeah.
Actually, Councilman, I talked to you last week. It is a loss for all of us. I really like the feel of this council. We've had some good ones that we know what we're up against, what we need to do. But still keep doing what you're doing, like you said. You got that little park sitting around the corner there, eyes and ears on the ground. You know the pipeline. Feel free to text me at any time. Again, a trusted set of eyes makes a difference. Now, some of that other refereeing on the computers and stuff, I want to let you have all that. I don't want no part of that. But anyhow, it's hard, the change, but you're making a choice for your family and something you worked hard for a while, and I can tell it's important. And there'll be opportunity down the road.
Thank you, Mayor.
Anybody else have anything?
I just reiterate everything they said. Gonna miss you, buddy.
Tim?
I'll just say, from being in Ward 1, done a good job, and I know even when I was not on here, you're like, once you get here and you get in the seat, you never go away. So there'll still be other things to do and other calls to duty come up, so continue to support your community and be involved in any aspect that you possibly can. So I know you do that.
I'm sorry that I didn't get much of a period of time to really work with you, since I've only been here since October. But I'm sure we would have worked together well. I feel it. So, good luck.
Thank you.
And I guess that leaves me, and I want to make sure too, I agree with Kim. They've said, I agree with everything everybody said. Hate to lose you, but I wish you well and enjoyed working with you. And you, again, I know if there's an opportunity to come up and help us, you'll be there to do that. And again, just your family's got to come first. I think that's very important, but we will miss you, and I wish you well.
Thanks, Tim.
Well, I'm going to be last, Tim. I was looking, I'm entering into my 41st year as the clerk, and I think back to how many council members I've had the pleasure to work with. And it's always fun for me to sit down and do the orientation with a new council member who sometimes they know what they're in for and sometimes they don't. And it's great to see one that listens and takes the advice and grows in the position, and you have definitely done that. And it's been fun to get to know you. Of course, I got to know you and your wife through our Citizens Police Academy class, and I feel like we became instant friends, so I know that's not going away. And I just wish you the best, and I agree, and as I said to you a few weeks ago when we talked about it, if you know me at all, my first answer is always gonna be family first. So I know you've made a decision that's best for you and your family, so nothing but the best.
Thanks, Sharon.
Anything else? in your
The only thing I have left under communications is monthly reports from municipal court and the November and December minutes from the park board.
Okay, Tom?
Motion to accept and place on file.
Second the motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, ayes, carry that as well. Okay. Reports and committees tonight.
Nope.
We've got a clean slate. Thank you. Unfinished business.
No, I was saying audience. Do we have audience?
I haven't got there yet, we're almost there. Yeah. Sharon made me a script.
I made him a cheat sheet.
I'll stick to it. You
He's
just
the
hold on.
leader of the pack.
Hold on there, buddy. Hang on a second. That's right. Hang on, buddy, we're gonna get there. Okay. All right, so, we don't have anything on unfinished business. And now we are ready for the audience portion. Anybody like to come forward, approach council, state your name and address, and you'll be given 5 minutes to speak. So, anybody wants to come up? Nobody? Going once, going twice? Sold, okay. All right, we don't have anything under new business, and we don't have anything under ordinances and resolutions, because we did all those last year. And looks to me like we are down to the miscellaneous part.
Yes, sir. Finance will meet next Tuesday, which is a change due to Martin Luther King holiday. We'll meet on Tuesday at 4:30 here in the chamber.
Okay, all right. And committee of whole will meet shortly at 4:45 or shortly after that.
I do have something, and I hate to take any more time, but I think this is actually very important. The Parks Department is currently conducting a survey. I'm going to kind of read you this little blurb real quick. I want it to get out to the public as best as we can. Cambridge Parks and Recreation Survey. The city of Cambridge is looking to improve parks, trails, natural areas, and outdoor recreation facilities across the city, beginning with the city park. This survey will only take 3 to 5 minutes to complete, and we thank you for your input. And this is really important because we're reaching out to the community to see and ask what you think we should do to the park, enhance the park, improve the park, not only our main park out on the north end, but perhaps Jefferson Park and some of our trails and things like that. I know the mayor's, really on board, and rightfully so. Actually, we have a park plan that we're working with Omega to develop, which is going to be really cool, in my opinion. The park board and myself, we gave them some input. We're working very closely with Nick as well. And so this survey will help us finalize and institute that plan to the best of our ability. There is a link. I'm hoping maybe somebody can guide me to get it on the city's website. It's going to be on the Park Department Facebook page. I'll put it on my own personal, and I'll share it on a couple of the social Cambridge Spotlight and a couple of the other social Facebook pages so I really encourage not only this board, but our residents, jump on, take that 3 to 5 minutes. Let us know what you need. We know we need a bowling alley. It's not going to happen at the park. But there are so many things that, we have the opportunity to start and to look forward to improve our parks and recreation. Tom mentioned the 501c3 Partners of the Park. They're starting to go. They're going to be doing some fundraisers to hit some of the areas that are there. So I really encourage everybody that can hear this, see this, and share it. If you have Facebook and you get the link, share it as much as possible. We're going to put some flyers out and so on. So I think it's going to be a good thing for the park, for the city as a whole. So I'm done with that. With that being said, Mayor, thank you for the reports. I want to tell you guys, I am very proud to be a resident of this city. I'm very proud to represent this city in my ward. I think all of us here, we not only represent, if we're a ward councilman, we not only represent our ward, but we represent our citizens as well. We're moving up, we're moving forward. We have so many great things happening in this town, and I am just so excited to be a part of it. And again, as everybody says, if you ever have any questions, have any concerns, reach out to any of us, because we'll be there for you and we'll do what we can. So with that, Happy New Year to everyone, and let's go.
Else have anything? Okay. All right, with that, John?
I make a motion, we adjourn.
Okay. All right, we are adjourned then.
Is this where I say go Steelers?
Oh, don't you?
It's still on the
I'm like-
recording, they probably got
That was
that.
in the clear, didn't you?
I did.
I tell you what, I didn't tell you this, but,
You just never know about those things, and they always pick the most
Yeah.
inconvenient time.
me a message.
And that's telling me to send one of